I hope that you enjoyed the very futuristic looking VR. It was quite interesting though. We got to learn more about the ship, and we also had a history lesson. Now, I believe there are 3 rooms down here that we can explore.
This stateroom is protected by the privacy laws. You are not the legal occupant assigned to this stateroom. A VIS override code is required to gain access to this space. Access granted.
Deck 2 is known as Officer Country. Deck 3 is where the junior officers, NCOs, and enlisted personnel stay. Now this room is fairly unique, as this room actually has something inside one of the drawers. There was a note taped to the drawer itself, not underneath, inside in plain view. If you need to get into my stateroom to get at any of your things, and I'm not around, feel free to use my VIS override. I can't quite make that out. VA31? Don't let anyone see you going in. The rules on fraternization may be loosely enforced, but getting caught won't help your promotion prospects. See you soon. I? Oh, okay. I wasn't too far off. We have J, and the code is 1H31. And that access code is to a room on deck 2 of 3. J, deck 2 of 3. So that could be Lieutenant Commander Jennifer Tran or Lieutenant James Paul. There is a James Randall and a Jiro Sushido. Tran and Paul are on deck 2, but the other 2 are neither on deck 2 or 3. There's not much more to see in here, although we may as well check out Falcon's books. USN Comco's R2134.3.1. A highly classified codebook. That's quite interesting.
This stateroom is protected by the privacy laws. You are not the legal occupant assigned to this stateroom. A VIS override code is required to gain access to this space. Access granted.
Hideki Miura's quarters. Hideki is was the ship's cyber systems operator and an old school hacker. A folded printout sits on the desk, which is source code, and a necklace is draped on the computer monitor. That's not exactly descriptive. It kind of looks like the symbol for pi. It also looks like it may fit into something as well. Why is there fax print in the 22nd century, especially in space? How odd. Why can't we just read through it on the desk? Why does it have to be physically in our hands? That's proper old school paper. A few words and characters from the archaic character-based programming language C squared. It's used to calculate an irrational number to what seems like an impossible number of digits. Now, is this a reference to pi? Again? The screen does look different here. Apparently it's in local mode, and it's using a low-level graphical editor. This is not surprising, apparently, given Hideki's reputation as a hacker.
Welcome to Hideki's house of hacking fun.
All we can do right now is program it. No program in workspace, so let's feed it this source code. Oh, okay. I'm not exactly sure how this helps. But yes, that is definitely pi. We have holoprints of Epsilon Indi, Starhome, the first world to be colonized by the human race. Although the average surface temperature is under minus 30 degrees Celsius. That's pretty cold. But it seems to be the closest thing to an Earth-type planet in known space. And this is of one of the Lexington's sister ships. The Concorde. Alright, there's not much more to see in here. Unless we want to examine paperweights.
This stateroom is protected by the privacy laws. You are not the legal occupant assigned to this stateroom. A VIS override code is required to gain access to this space. Access granted.
Marie Quan's quarters. A bound volume of some kind sits on her desk. There are a lot of entries in this journal, so I will flick through them one page at a time. I will keep each page up for about 10 seconds each. Feel free to pause, but I will take screenshots and provide a link in the thread and also in the video description. But I'll try to summarize some things at the end. Alright, let's make a start. Alright, so a brief summary. It starts out basically like a normal journal. There's talk about drills and the assignment ahead, just standard stuff. And then we find out that Paul is quite suspicious. And Mary has several reasons to suspect him of being an agent. And now we have confirmation that Paul is the one who is sleeping with Falcon. We will investigate Paul's room at some point in the future. But for now, we will continue on with our exploration of the ship. A holoprint of a nature scene from Earth. Four spheres. These are parts of a 3D magnetic puzzle called Malcolm's Madness. What is the actual puzzle? I guess this will remain a mystery. More paperweights, more star flowers. Let's move onwards. We are done with deck 3 for now.
Deck 4.
Deck 4 is laid out exactly the same. Well, no, it's not exactly the same on either side. But there are 6 quarters, both sides, no big rooms. I believe that every single door on this deck is off limits to us. At least for now. There's no point in examining every single door, as we will get the same response each time.
Deck 5.
Visiting deck 4 may have seemed pointless, but we may as well be thorough. Now, here we have 3 large rooms. Oh dear. Is that some hull damage? A mass of twisted wreckage. A violent release of energy. So there was no massive hull integrity failure, but something definitely happened here. A release of energy of some sort. I'm not not sure exactly how we can clear this in our current position, but it's nice to dream. Yeah, even if there was an obvious way through, I still would not like to try. Now this is the science lab. And apparently it has a retro look to it. The science lab is the only area on the ship that has not been upgraded or overhauled. Now, considering the nature of this mission, that's quite surprising. That means we cannot access this cupboard. And we have more screens and buttons that we have no idea what they are, what they're for. And this ship was fitted with outmoded systems. Gravitometer. The gravitometer is a heavy cylinder made from a crystalline material with a perfectly aligned atomic matrix. It seems quite important, but somehow I doubt we will use this. Alright. Well, there is one reason why we're here, and that is for this storage cabinet right here. Yeah, what does FRT actually stand for? Oh, Field Research Team, it says it right here. Oh, we definitely need these two pieces of equipment. The Geiger counter will be very useful. And the scanner, which I'm sure will be useful as well. Essentially a field microscope. If activated while being held near an object, the microscanner uses reflection from an emitted beam to construct a highly magnified false color image of the surface of the object being scanned. Cool beans. And here we have the med lab, which is state of the art. The med lab has plenty of capacity for a 20-person crew. Combat injuries are actually very rare. The losers in a space battle are usually vaporized. Sounds lovely. The auto dock, which may become handy. I mean, there's no one here to patch us up. unit is, well, it resembles a mechanical spider. Needles, sprays, applicators, scalpels. Let's hope that we never need it, but I'm still quite thankful it's here. Cabinets, which I believe do not open. Which does not seem quite safe in an emergency. A recovery room. Okay, so it's like a ward of some sort. A note in Hideki's handwriting. Written yesterday. Captain Dana wanted the auto dock reprogrammed with what he called a panic button. I fixed it so that if you key in the code 911 on the auto dock remote control, the treatment units will automatically stun anybody or anything within 3 meters of the auto dock. Does this have something to do with our mission? Sounds like you're going to be working with an ET specimen. What gives? Now, this definitely does sound like something we'll use in the future. 911. Again, we have more things here that we will not be able to use, and only really just gawk at. The medical officer sits here during diagnosis and evaluation. More controls that we cannot understand. Two microscopes. Apparently they are relics from an earlier age. And I believe that's it for now.
Deck 6.